Alright fellas, what's going on? Denonu here, aka the man with black privilege, and this video is going to be my first impressions on Star Wars Battlefront. A friend of mine was streaming this yesterday, so I hopped on with him, and we played, what I assume, 3 to 4 hours of it, so ranked my character all the way up to the ranked level, or to the max level during the beta. I think it was like rank 5 or something, but this is just going to be my first impressions on it. My initial thoughts when I first picked up the controller and played it, and how I perceive this game fitting into all of the normal FPS games that normally come out, like COD and Halo and all that. But so far it's pretty good. I will say that. It's I was expecting the mechanics to be more, let's say, like Battlefield in a way, but it's like Battlefield, but it feels like a looser type of Battlefield. It's not as tight or weighty or nothing like that, and you can move around very fast, and the maps were designed around that type of movement. It definitely feels that way. Like the map you're seeing here, you had this map, and I think you had the other game mode. I think this is I forget what they were called, but this, like in this game mode, you just pretty much had to capture points and stop the enemy from claiming points. And I think in the other one, it was more of the big open one where you had to do the, I forget what the battle name was in the movie, but it was the one where you had all the AT walkers and stuff, and you had to fly, and you could fly around and do all that kind of sort of stuff. That was the other one. I'm hoping that, because I know this was Friday when I recorded this, so I'm hoping by maybe tomorrow or maybe the next day after, they add in like maybe like 2 more game modes or maybe a couple more maps, but it was fun. The map design, I really did like what they did with this map. It was a close quarters kind of sort of thing. You had a lot of rocks and stuff, like as you can see on the screen. And you can jump on all of those things, and if you had the jetpack, you can get on the higher up ones. And you can actually, shoot down at enemies and stuff, because people rarely look up sometimes. So it was very beneficial to use it. It wasn't just there just to be having it, to have something to look at. The weapons were extremely accurate. I don't know if they're going to change that. And I know most first-person shooter games, when they come out with a beta, the weapons act one way. Then when the game actually releases, they'll have recoil, they'll have, more spread, things like that. But during the beta, everything was like laser accurate. But then again, you are shooting lasers in the game, so so who knows? But you had a lot of visual things to look at, as you can see on the screen here. You had the skyships in the sky and the Star Destroyers and all that kind of sort of stuff. That was pretty cool to look at, especially during the other game mode, because that was like a big open war type battle, and you just saw like stuff exploding everywhere, ships crashing, AT walkers walking by. Like it was a great visual thing to look at. I will say that it was very, very enjoyable. Also, you had like Jedis on the map. Like you had Luke Skywalker jumping around the map. I don't know how, people get him. I'm assuming like either he's a kill streak or you take 2 points on the map and your team, somebody is picked on your team to be, like to be Luke Skywalker at random or something. I don't know how it works. But I remember seeing somebody as Darth Vader blocking bullets and throwing lightsabers and killing people and stuff using force power. So that was pretty badass to see. But one thing that's bugging me about this game is I think it's gonna fall in line with like let's say like Hardline. And the reason I'm saying that is, given how the menus and stuff is set up in the game. Now mind you, I'm somebody who I've never played none of the older Star Wars Battlefront games, because I know they made them a while back. Never played any of them, so this is like my first one jumping into it. I don't know if this is anything like the older ones or nothing like that, but in this, given what they had in the beta, I'm not saying it's going to be what's in the full game, but I'm going to say I hope it's not what's in the full game, because you only had like 4 weapons in a character class, and I remember Hardline was like that too, where it's like every class only had, let's say like if you wanted sniper rifles, you only had like 4 snipers, 4 assault rifles, like 4 submachine guns, things like that, And normally when they do that in an FPS game, there isn't a lot of I'm not going to say content, but there's not a lot of unlockables to keep you interested in the long term of playing the game. It's not like, let's say, Battlefield, where you have all those guns. Now, granted, in Battlefield, a lot of those guns were copies and pasted of other guns, just using a different model on it. So I'm not saying what they did is right, but it does keep people who are invested in multiplayer to keep wanting to continue to unlock things and things like that. It drives you to keep playing it. An example of something what not to do would be, let's say, like Titanfall. Again, same kind of concept that I'm hoping this game does not do. And that's just like Hardline, where you come out with a game and you have one or two guns, and then like once you get them, there's no variations in none of your class builds or nothing like that. So there's nothing to strive for. There's nothing that's going to drive you to keep playing it other than the fact of you just playing the game. And that's what I'm hoping that this game does not do. The cards system, as you can see me using here in the video, this Orbital Strike, the cards are pretty good. It's different. I don't think that they're overpowered in any kind of way. Like you see on mine, I have the I think they call it the Psycho Rifle. It was pretty much like a sniper rifle, and then you had the grenades and stuff. But basically, you can pick two cards to carry with you, and then you use those cards as if you would, let's say, like the pickups that you get on the map. They're like Destiny Supers, where you can just use them, but once you die, you lose them. So that's pretty cool. But your normal cards, they recharge. Like the sniper rifle, I can pull out anytime I want, take my shot, but then I gotta wait like 5 seconds for it to come back. So I can't run around with it and start quick scoping and none of that bullshit. But I'm just hoping that this game has a lot of content, to be honest, because if it does, then I can see people playing it. I just don't think it's gonna get the same kind of audience that, let's say, Call of Duty, would get. And what I mean by that, I mean like the guys who love tactical shooters. Either tactical shooters or FPS games or the modern military style games. Because by it being Star Wars and sci-fi, that's going to turn off a lot of those people. And I think this game is just going to I think this game is going to be like Crysis. Like if this game doesn't have a lot of content, meaning if it's going to be like, let's say, Hardline and let's say more of a casual experience shooter, then I think it's going to be like Crysis, where it's going to have a small core audience. And eventually, over time, it's going to die out and people aren't going to play it. Because I just don't see, like, tons of Star Wars fans that may be picking up and playing this game to keep it alive. I just don't see that. Because there's probably tons of people who like Star Wars, but they may not necessarily play video games or nevertheless shooters. So I just don't see how popular it's going to get. It's not going to take out COD. It ain't going to take out Halo or none of that. But I really do want it to succeed, though, because I really, really enjoy this game. I mean, it's fun as hell. As somebody who loves sci-fi and who is into Star Wars, I'm liking this game. I'm liking it a lot. And I just want more of it. So I'm hoping that it is able to maintain its own lifestyle going forward and actually keep a popularity enough to where people can play it for, the long term. But anyway, that's just been my initial thoughts on it. I'm probably going to make another commentary in a couple days talking, getting a little bit more in depth, but you guys are just going to have to wait and see. So my name is Denonu, the man with black privilege, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.